Okay, let's talk about what nobody warns you about after the nest is finally empty. Like after you have done all the built-in routines like basketball practice, PTA meetings, shuffling your kids all over the place. All of a sudden it's just you and like what do you do? Um I think that after stepping into this phase, like into dating, or even making new friendships, after a long term relationship is wild. I honestly feel as though I had no idea. Like, I had no idea it was so hard to make friendships or even have a relationship after you've been in one for such a long time. So sit back. This is what we're chatting about today, and let's talk about it. Um, so today I pretty much wanted to dive into how do we redefine dating. Um, After being married for 20 years and now dating for the first time since I was 20, in my 20s, early 20s too. Um, and I wouldn't even say that I dated in my early 20s. I had serious relationships one after the other. So I never really was in a like in the dating scene per se. So this is my first time in the dating scene, and what I can say is it's wild out here. It's crazy. I remember when I first got divorced, I was so upset at the fact that I had to like be out here looking for someone or searching for someone new. And I for a very long time I was very resentful because I was like, how like why would you put me in this shit show? Um, because it's different. When you have literally grown up with someone and spent so much time with someone, um, and now have to be out there and actually dating. It's wild. It's 100% wild. But it can be done, and I just wanted to share like it's fun and it's a mess at the same time. But I say that all to say that you kind of have to figure out what it is that you want and the types of friendships that you want and try to build meaningful relationships. So yeah, I think dating in your 40s is is different. It's I'm trying to find like the politically correct words, but I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's a shit show. Um, because we are all like I'm set in my ways, and pretty much to me, anyone in my age range is pretty much set in their ways. They know what they like. They have a routine, and it's kind of hard to add that person to your routine. Um, and especially when you get that WYD text at 10 o'clock at night, it's just like it's so cringing because you want to be like, what? Can't you speak like full sentences? And then another thing is, why you sent it at 10 o'clock? You can send that at 7 so we could actually like do something. So it's kind of like it's a shit show. It's like it's a shit show. But um I feel as though I have some tips that I've learned. So I've been doing this for a hot second now, and I have some tips and tricks. I think this is coming on year 5 that I've been single. I have dated and I've had some relationships in the past, but this is year 5. And I've learned a thing or two. Like, we could have this conversation 5 years ago when I first got divorced because I wouldn't have nothing to tell you. But now that I've sat in it and I've reflected, I can now share some tips and tricks. The first tip that I have is know what you want. Um, and it's okay to start off not understanding what you want and then redefining that. So I remember when I first was single and recently divorced, I started to take myself out on dates every Friday night. Um, because a lot of the questions that you get when you're first dating is like, oh, so what do you like to do? what do you do for fun? And I would be like, I didn't know, because everything was wrapped around the kids or my ex, that I didn't know what I liked to do or what I wanted to do for fun. So I had to start trying to figure out, what do you like to do? And what do you want to do for fun? So I can't expect someone to know what I like to do. Like, I have to figure that out. So I think for a large part, I had to start figuring out, like, okay, what do you like to do, Julie? What do you like to do for fun? And just defining that for myself. Because once you know what it is that you like, you can then tell someone, well, I don't like going bowling, but I do like shooting pool, or vice versa, whatever you like. You got to figure that out for yourself. And I'm in a different space, I think, too, because I've been married. There's not a urge, like an urgency to be married again. There isn't. So I know what space I'm in, and that might be different for you. If you've never been married, there may be an urgency for you, or this may be an urgency, like if you haven't had children yet, it might be an urgency with dating. But I think a lot of it has to do with you figuring out what it is that you like, who you are as a person, before you put yourself out there to meet someone else. And then, because once you know who you are, it's easier to find your person. Okay. My step two is make dating fun and not a chore. Um, I think in the beginning, I had to shift my mindset, because I, it was daunting. Like, it felt like I was on dating apps, or if I met someone, like, at the supermarket or at Home Depot or wherever, it was a little like pulling teeth. Like, you're texting one another, and it's like, sometimes they're not engaging, and you're like, can you just have a normal conversation? And also, it felt as though, like, when you meet someone, it's like the same routine questions, like, so what have you done, like, how many kids you have, like, everything is like, so what do you like to do? And it was kind of like, I don't want to do this, like, I want to get to the fun part, like, can we fast forward to the fun part, because this is not fun, wasn't fun. So um try to have fun with it, and just try to, it's, I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not. But you have to definitely shift your mindset, and try to meet people who are interesting and fun in the process, so that you don't lose yourself and what you want. And I think once you get to that point, the pressure is pretty much gone. But um, definitely have fun. Tip three is that you don't have to settle, period. Like, mm-mm. I think sometimes we may write our list of things that we want for a potential partner, and we may say, oh, they be like, oh, you want a lot, or like, you're asking for too much. You're not. It's okay for you to have your standards, and then for them to be, you may meet someone and they're like, oh, you want that? You want to do this? Like, you want to go to dinner every week? Yes. I think that it's important that my new partner, we always find a way to connect. And I think that having dinner dates or date nights every week is important. If you think that's too much, then you're not my person. And it's okay that you're not my person. So you set your standards, and don't dim your light for no one else. Remember that you're the prize, so act accordingly. Remember that. All right, let's talk about friendships. In in a divorce or in a separation, we've had friends for 20 plus years that we had together. And when you leave that relationship, some friendships stay, some fade, some dwindle. Like, it just, it goes all over the place. And then you then get a new circle of friends. You see who, like, who's left, who's around, who is genuine, and who is for you. And it's okay if some leave, and because that's friendship in itself. Like, it's great that you'll have a friendship for 20 plus years, but sometimes in every friendship, there's levels to it. We may outgrow one another. Shifts and changes happen, and it's okay that I don't go with you through every season, and it's okay. Um, some friendships stay, some naturally fade, and suddenly you're looking around wanting to know who you call for happy hour. Yeah, that's the hard part. I have some tips. Tip one is be intentional about your friendships. Friendships don't just happen. You have to put the work in. You have to reach out. It takes both parties actively working on a friendship. Um, and if you're moving to a new city, and you be intentional about it. If you meet someone at a yoga class or at a spin class, like, you have to be open to new friendships, and you have to put the work in. You may have friends that you've had for 20 plus years. The amount of work is not needed because you've built that long-term relationship. But for new friendships, it's like dating. It's like you have to reach out, checking on you, making sure you're okay. Yeah, you may not be talking to one another every day, but you still have to put forth some type of effort for you to gain that friendship. So be intentional about your friendships. Tip two, quality over quantity. Um, at this stage, I don't need 100 friends. I don't. I don't need 100 people to say that, oh, these are the, like, no. I might have a solid five. And really, that's all I need, because at the end of the day, I want quality friendships and someone that I can call regardless of what, no matter what's going on. Those are the friendships that I want. And when, okay, Cookie, clearly, sit, have a seat. Thank you. Thank you. Sit. Thanks. Those are the friendships that I want. The ones that hypes me up, the ones that check in on me, the ones that know, like, this may be a tough day for her. Let me just check in on her. I'm not the friend that you have to call every day. I'm not. It's okay. I have friends that I only speak to, or we just send pictures to, or we just send messages, just checking on you. You're good. Yeah. I'm not, I'm not, it's not required. Every now and then I do need that, but it's not an everyday thing for me. Tip number three is make solo plans and let friendships happen organically, like naturally. Because, like I said, I've taken myself out to dinner, I've taken myself to concerts by myself, I've done vacation by myself. It's okay to do things by yourself. And then you have to be open when you're in those environments to meet someone. Um, don't be like standoffish, and just, like, naturally drum up a conversation with someone. And it's okay to go like, oh, I really enjoyed hanging out with you. I would love to do this again. You can do that with a girlfriend. Like, there's no, like, you would do that with a guy. So it's the same way in getting those organic friendships. Sense. Also, when you show up for yourself, the right person shows up for you too. And you'll notice that. You'll notice that the people who stand out, you don't have to, like, beg them to be your friends. I don't want to play. Starting over isn't always easy, but it can be a beautiful thing, whether it's dating or friendships or just rediscovering who you are in this chapter of your life. You're the author, you're writing it, so you get to pretty much do what you want to do. um, there's one thing that I've learned in relationships, about relationships, is that it's it's in this season of life, like, it's 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 kind of like relationships are seasons. Like you'll have them, um, and they'll change, and it's okay for you to change with them. So tell me, what's one thing that you have learned about relationships in this season of your life? Drop a comment and let me know, and we can figure this thing out together. Um, Thanks for stopping by. Again, I truly appreciate all of you. Like, share, and comment. And I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.